because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York Post.
Yeah, we have that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. Basically the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us.
Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg claims the FBI told his company to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story ahead of the 2020 election. In an interview with Joe Rogan, Zuckerberg said the FBI told his team that Hunter Biden's story is, quote, Russian propaganda. That claim has since been proven false, and Biden's laptop and their content were proven to be factual. Zuckerberg says the FBI made a general request for Facebook to restrict access to revelations about Hunter Biden.
Just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant.
Now, this comes after FBI whistleblowers told Senator Ron Johnson that the Bureau believed revelations about Hunter Biden would change outcomes of the 2020 elections. Well, this is an unbelievable admission by Facebook CEO, and I want to bring in our next guest to talk more about this. He's a former counterterrorism officer, a national security commentator, and the host of This Is My Show with Drew Berquist. Drew, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Zuckerberg admits that Facebook censored New York Post's reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop. Of course, that's because the FBI intervened and called it Russian misinformation. What do you make of it?
Well, it's the FBI that we've come to know these days, right? Like it shouldn't be. We knew it was being done at the time, for a myriad of reasons. We knew it, of course, tied to the election. We know that Facebook and Twitter and all of the big tech giants took the tacks that they did to prevent this from getting out there. And I love the comment that they make that we think it could sway the election. Well, you think? Of course it would have. And there's even polls that came out afterwards with Democrats saying if we had known, we would not have voted this way. But to me, this is a situation where we find ourselves where we have to decide as an American republic what we want to do with this organization, who's been involved in so many nefarious activities lately, that there's absolutely zero way that they ever get any credibility back.
Well, the FBI had Hunter's laptop since 2019, so they knew what was in it, Drew. Approaching Facebook just a few weeks before elections is election interference, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, they were, involved. The FBI and multiple other senior level officials were involved dating back to their efforts with then candidate Trump and then eventually President Trump. You factor this in. You factor their involvement in so many things. I mean, everything that came out about the staged Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot and letting armed protesters into the Michigan State Capitol to help further the domestic extremist narrative. This is what is happening. I don't know how anyone, frankly, and again, there are good people who work at the FBI. I've worked with some of them, but how anyone can trust this organization moving forward is beyond me.
Well, there's also no way that the FBI can deny this because we heard it from Zuckerberg himself. Yeah. An investigation maybe coming, soon, you think?
Well, let's see what happens in the midterms. I mean, there should be. Look, there's so many things, this included, and this probably at the top of the list, that need to be investigated. But it all comes down to what power we can get back and what we can't get back come the fall. And then it comes down to that next step of what is the GOP really going to do? Is it going to be empty words where they say we're coming after you, or are we going to actually get some action here? Because certainly the American people deserve it.
Yeah, well, you just talked about, the trust in the FBI eroding even more. I mean, it seems like Americans are starting to see that there's a double standard depending on what side of the political aisle you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, in the old days, maybe people allow mistakes to happen. There's some grace and forgiveness, which by all accounts there should be or should have been. But this is a hyper-partisan, extremely politically divided world that we live in. And in this environment, and with everything that we've seen, that's not speculation anymore on so many fronts as it pertains to the FBI. It's been proven with where we are in this country and just kind of the pulse of things. Unfortunately, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Drew Berquist, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your analysis.
Hey, thanks for having me.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.